Welcome back to the Goal2Go podcast, man. Week 15, episode 16 of the podcast. Looking a little different this week. We on Zoom. In my room, you in your room, bro.
Yeah, little distance between us this week, man.
Yeah, facts.
Not feeling 100% right now, bro. But you feel me? Show must go on, fam. We gonna bang this bitch out.
I love
Ready?
it, kid. Yeah, man. So it's a week, lesser quality, I guess, bro. But we're gonna jump right into it. Got a good one.
It's all right. This takes gonna still be high quality. That's all that matters.
Facts. You already know another hot or not segment. Got a little AFC, our Pro Bowl picks, and then obviously our Week 15 picks and predictions for this week. So we're gonna start it off, man. Jumping off let's just recap last week's record. It wasn't too good for me. 5-8, 116 and
8-5.
96. Yeah, you went 8-5, 130 and 80 on the year. Of course, I picked the Giants just to be petty to you. And boys looked
Yeah,
embarrassing.
yeah. They didn't put up a good fight. Eagles just doing what the Eagles do have been doing this year, stomping teams out.
So we're gonna jump into the hot or not. I'm gonna hit you
Mhm.
off. I got two this week.
All right.
Start you off with a good one. Lamar Jackson's contract year coming up. Tyler
Mhm.
Huntley will be the Ravens starting QB next year.
That's a hot take. I mean, Lamar, we've seen what he's proven. We see what this team looks like when he's on the field. One of the best offenses. Lamar wins games. I don't think he's done anything to not warrant the contract extension. So I mean, and just think about it. If you're the Ravens, you brought in Alex Roman, you brought in all this stuff to make this offense, build an offense around Lamar Jackson. Now I know Tyler Huntley is similar skill set, kind of do some of the same things as Lamar, but nowhere near on the level. Former MVP. I don't think the Ravens will let Lamar walk. They shouldn't let him walk. And if they do you really want to roll out Tyler Huntley as your starting quarterback next year? Like, I know he's won games with this team. He's been in the system, so it probably wouldn't be the worst option. But I just think if you have a talent like Lamar Jackson at QB, you can't just let him walk away. You got to at least try to resign him, try to bring him back. And I think the Ravens get it done. I think Lamar. I think ultimately Lamar will stay in Baltimore. So that's a hot take. I think Lamar's in Baltimore next year.
I respect the take. I agree with you. Second one up, second and final. Bengals will repeat as AFC champs.
That is not a hot take. I mean, not last week, but 2 weeks ago, we saw them beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who we all thought, was looking like the hottest team, not even in the AFC, but in the NFL, they was looking like the best team. They play the Bills, I don't think this week, but coming up next week, so that'll be another good game. They already beat the Dolphins. We saw the Dolphins on a decline. So really, outside of the Bills, who they play next week, that's really they've beaten all the other teams who will be in contention. So I think the Bengals could easily repeat in the AFC. Like you said, Joe Burrow, he's kind of heating up right now. Is he sneaking into that MVP conversation? Big win last week against the Browns. Finally checked that off his career list, beating the Cleveland Browns. So Jamar Chase, he's coming back more healthy. Although I did see they lost. I think Tyler Boyd went down with an injury, and I believe Trey Hendrickson tore his ACL. I could be mistaken. I think he did though. Couple key injuries, but I mean, ultimately, if you got Joe Burrow at quarterback, defense is playing the way it has been. I mean, the Bengals' ceiling is Super Bowl. They could easily make it back. So I'm gonna say that's not a hot take, especially if they went out, beat Buffalo. They have the tiebreaker against Kansas City. They somehow get that first seed. It could definitely happen in Cincinnati. So I'm gonna say that's not a hot take. Bengals could run the table and easily make it back to the Super Bowl.
No doubt. Yeah, you're up now.
All right, I got I got three. All right, hot or not, Brock Purdy and Trey Lance will have a legit quarterback battle next season in San Francisco.
That's a hot take. That's wild. Trey Lance, obviously first rounder, Brock Purdy seventh. You gotta see some consistency out of Purdy. Obviously, haven't seen Trey Lance like that. But when it comes down to it, I mean, he just Trey Lance was drafted in the first round for a reason, and I don't think you just exactly say QB competition. Now, will it uh, brew some question marks in the media? Will Trey Lance maybe get a little fired? Probably, but I don't really think competition. I would say even if Brock Purdy plays better in training camp, mini camp next year, preseason, I still think you see Trey Lance ahead of him.
Yeah. And Trey Henderson broke his wrist, excuse me, not his ACL. He broke his wrist against the Browns. But yeah, I mean, I agree, bro. You move up all that draft capital. You pick Trey Lance. What was it, number 3 overall, I believe? Like
Yeah,
you want to see what he does for at least a whole full season. Do you think it's a three-way QB battle and they bring back
I
Jimmy
was about
G?
to say, bro, his contract's too big. They obviously overpaid
I
Jimmy
think he's a
G,
free
and
agent too.
he's gonna be
Yeah,
a free agent next year. Last year of his deal, I think he's gonna walk and go somewhere else.
yeah, I don't.
That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Purdy is basically just a fucking younger, arguably better version of Jimmy G right now. So if Trey Lance doesn't work out, you can fall back on Purdy. All right, this is a little spicy one. Hot or not, Panthers will win the NFC South.
Are they're one game
If they
behind right
win
now?
out, if they win out, they win the NFC South. So basically, do you think hot or not, the Panthers win out and win the NFC South?
Who they play next week, you know?
Um, let me bring up the schedule. I think they have the. I'm pretty sure they play the Bucks and the Saints once, but let me just make sure. So they got the Steelers this week,
Yep.
Lions next week, Bucks, and then Saints to round out their season.
I'm gonna say it's not a hot take, man. I mean, we saw the Bucks get stomped out on national TV.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, they got absolutely obliterated on Sunday. So for that, I mean, Tom Brady hasn't looked himself. Mike Evans, he hasn't been able to get him the ball
Hmm.
like even relevantly close. We know Mike Evans, he could go up and get it with
Yeah,
the most elite of them in the league. And you're talking about it might be the first season under 1,000 yards for Mike Evans.
it'll be close.
Run game's really non-existent. Defense gave up a 30 ball. Obviously, they're
To Brock
struggling
Purdy, who I
struggling
believe had the
offense.
best QB rating this week too.
But I mean, it's up for grabs right now. Sam Darnold, not seeing the ghost of Sam Darnold.
They're just
Uh,
running the ball, bro.
Chuba Hubbard, yeah, he did look
Dante
solid, and
Foreman's been running it. Yeah,
Dante Foreman. So right now the Panthers, they're playing with a little grit after they traded Baker. They seem a little bit revived.
yeah. I
So
think it's starting to look like a mutual win for Baker and the Lion or and the Panthers. Excuse me.
that's one game, but
We'll get
we'll
into
go
that.
ahead.
But
Yeah,
yeah, looking at their schedule, I mean, outside of this Lions game next week, these are all winnable games for the Panthers.
it's at home for Detroit.
It is. It is on next Saturday, December
Yeah,
24th. They got a 1 p.m. game. All right. And then my last one. This is a good one for you. All right. Hot or not, Tua has come back down to earth and is showing his true colors as a QB.
that's a hot take. True colors, a bit of a stretch. He's definitely better than what he's played as. So I'm gonna say it's not down to earth. He's playing below level. Now, will he keep playing at the best quarterback in the league? Probably not. Will he be top 10? Yeah, I do believe so. I said it before the season. I think he could be a top 10 quarterback, but not the elites, the Josh Herberts or Justin Herbert, the Pat Mahomes. I think he's
Yeah.
in that tier 2 right there, top 10. But if you watch the Dolphins game, it just didn't help him at all. There was a couple drops by Jalen Waddle. Tyreek was a little hobbled. A couple of the balls he threw, they weren't the best. There was a couple passes where like the receivers, they just looked lost. They couldn't find the ball.
Yeah.
So and the ground game hasn't gotten going. Jeff Wilson, he got hurt. Mostert had like 11 carries. I think Mike McDaniel needs to take a little bit of pressure off. They like to run the play action bootleg a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
teams aren't, they're not
You're
biting
not
into
running
it.
the
You're not
ball.
running
Yeah.
the ball. Yeah, exactly. You got to
It
establish the
doesn't work.
run and get
Mm-hmm.
that play action going. So I think if they do that, Obviously, tough game coming up. We're gonna talk about it later, but I don't think he's at where he should be. He should be playing a bit better. I mean, what do you have, like 3
Yeah,
completions in the first half?
yeah. Through like he only had I think three like it's going into like the fourth quarter or something. I don't know, something like
Yeah.
that. But yeah. Now you think he'll be like top 10 statistic wise, as in the numbers show he's top 10, or do you think he'll like make that top 10 as in like overall QBs, like who you want moving forward?
Statistically,
Like,
easily, I'm
because
gonna
we
say,
say
I know
we
what you
could
said.
say like Gino is going to be like a statistic top 10 quarterback, but like, would you take Gino as a top 10 QB like moving forward with your franchise? Like, I
Pro-
think me and you will both probably wouldn't take Gino top 10.
Yeah, he probably got, a few more. He's up there in age, but I do
Yeah,
think Tua would be a top 10 option. I mean, like I said,
like overall.
Mahomes,
Yeah,
Allen, Burrow, Herbert. Those are 4 guys obviously ahead of him.
yeah.
You look down the list, trying to think.
Hurts.
Hurts,
I'm taking Hurts
yep,
over him this year.
yeah, probably
Moving
just
forward,
more mobile too.
yeah.
Obviously, dual
Lamar,
threat Lamar. So
yeah.
I think like Tua is right behind.
It'll be close. You taking
Next,
Fields or Tua?
I'm taking Tua, but next year I was about to say Deshaun Watson might be ahead of him, so
Yeah,
might be ahead of all of
looking
them.
after these past few games next year, maybe next year, not this year.
Yeah, I mean I never said this year, so
All right. You ready to get into the Pro Bowl selection for the AFC?
yeah.
You want to
I'll
start it off? You know what?
yeah,
I'll let you start it off. It's the AFC. Both your teams in this division, so I'll let you start off AFC
I'm gonna start off
or this
quarterback.
conference. Yeah.
We're just gonna go by positions. AFC this week,
Mhm.
NFC next week. AFC,
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes. Not really much to talk about. That's my quarterback.
So that's a QB1. I think we can both agree. Pat Mahomes playing like, and we might get into a little conversation later down the road. I've been seeing it on other podcasts, sports talk shows. We'll touch on the MVP race right now, or in a little bit. But I think right now, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is clearly QB1. So for the QB2, you know what? I'm gonna make this hard on you. I'm gonna make this a tough pick for you. I'm gonna go with Justin Herbert. He's been
Just
having a lot of injuries around him. We saw last week
that's a
he
reach.
outplayed Tua. I know, but I just want to make it hard for you because it's two names. It's what you gotta pick. I'm gonna pick Herbert. I think he's
Well,
top 10 in passing yards. Both of his weapons have been out. Herbert's been balling this year, playing through injuries. So who you picking?
well. So let me start off. I'm a I'm a hater, but this is my podcast, our podcast. So you know who I'm picking. I'm picking Tua Tagovailoa, man. Come on. 2 bad games. Like you could look back and Burrow had 2 bad games early in the year.
He did
Like,
against the Steelers, and then that one
yeah,
against the
he threw like
Browns.
4 picks that game, right? Like,
Yeah, week
I mean,
one,
I mean,
and he
come
didn't
on.
have the best game against the Browns either.
Yeah.
The first
Uh,
first game, yeah,
but it comes down to it. I'm taking Tua. He's proved it this year. Uh,
yeah.
Burrow obviously up in the conversation. Now, do I think Justin
Mm.
Herbert should have been on the list ahead of Burrow? Probably not, but
I think Burrow makes it over Herbert. I just wanted to pick Herbert to
I
make
know
you
you want to
have
make it
that tough
interesting.
decision. Yeah.
But guess what, bro? We're not journalists here, so biased takes. And according
All
to Skip
right,
Bayless,
so
he has
so
biased
those
ones.
are those are our QBs: Pat Mahomes, Tua, and Justin Herbert. Sorry, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
All right, running backs. So I get running back one. I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs. I believe the league's leading rusher right now. He's had a
Yep.
crazy, crazy year. Kind of. I mean, I feel like I feel like you've always been higher on Josh Jacobs. I've kind of been lower on him. I didn't really think he was like all that, but I mean, this year he's proven everybody wrong, proving the Raiders wrong, looking like they should have paid him. Now he's about to go get the bag somewhere else because he's literally playing like the best running back in the league. So RB1 for me in the AFC is Josh Jacobs.
I respect it. And since I only get, well, actually, we got 4 running backs.
Yeah, you get to.
So,
Yeah,
so I'm going to go King Henry. I mean, dude carries the team every year. This is the reason the
yeah.
Titans are in a playoff race. Um, so I'm gonna have to go with Josh Jacobs. My ring light just went out. So we're just gonna keep it pushing for now. But I got Josh Jacobs. I mean
You
King
mean Derrick
Henry.
Henry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, King Henry.
All right. For the third running back, I'm gonna just do you a favor, bro. I'm gonna just pick your boy Nick Chubb, single-handedly carrying that offense, especially when Jacoby Brissett was pretty much running the ship most of the season. Nick Chubb seemed to be that one steady, consistent piece on the offense that they can always rely on, and he's one of the best running backs in the league. I'd argue he's one of the, if not one, second best. AFC has a lot of good running backs, and I think Nick Chubb is up there, so I think he definitely gets a nod this year.
Yeah,
There we go.
definitely for
Okay,
sure, bro.
technician
Nah,
Alexi.
bro, this shit was overheating. I have to keep switching the little boxes on them. But so yeah, for Austin Eckler, dual threat guy, gets
Yep,
it done both ways. 20 touchdowns last year. I don't know how many he has this year, but he's getting
I think
close to
he's
Jamal and
pretty
Chubb.
close. Yeah,
Definitely when you count for passing and rushing touchdowns, probably.
already had
But
93 receptions this year, like 600 receiving yards.
he's been Herbert's like trustworthy right hand man. And you look at it, so
Yeah,
I don't see how you can not pick Austin Eckler. So he's
he's been
my
the only healthy, consistent weapon on that offense.
yeah. Had a slow start, bounced back, and he's getting up there in age. So this might be the last couple of years for him, but he's balling out.
Yeah. All right, wide receiver one. For me, we had kind of had this little debate last week. I'm gonna pick my boy Da, man, Devontae Adams, doing it big out there in Las Vegas. It's funny how they have arguably the best running back and receiver in the conference, yet they're outside looking into the playoffs. I mean, there's still a little slim chance, but doubt they make it. But Devontae Adams, man, he's been killing it. I believe he leads the league in receiving touchdowns with 12, if I'm not mistaken. Up there in receiving yards, up there in receptions and targets. I mean, Devontae Adams, one of the best route runners in the league, arguably the greatest release of all time. Mr. Consistent, he does it all, man. Give me DA.
Yeah, I respect it. Number two is a guy has been carrying his new team, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Fumble 6 last week, touchdown down the sideline with that limpy shin. I don't see how not. Tyreek Hill, he's been explosive. To his guy to go to, and
Yeah.
he's up there, and he was on pace to break the receiving record. Not anymore, but he's my
I
wide
think he
receiver
slipped down to
too.
number 2 in total yards as well.
Yeah, same.
Did you
He did.
did you see the interview he had with Shannon Sharp on his podcast, like Club
Nah.
Shay Shay or whatever? Like, it was pretty interesting. He talked about like when he went to Miami, he was like the first thing Coach McDaniel said to him, he was like, you ready for 2000? Tariq was like, what? He's like, you ready for 2000? He's like, you read my mind. He's like, I'm ready to go. He's like, let's get to work. So they kind of had this in the plans. They kind of knew like, look, they wanted to run this explosive offense. But
Yeah, Jay
for
Jet's
me,
ahead of him by 40 yards. My bad.
yeah, for me, number 3, I'm gonna go with Stephon Diggs, man. I know Josh Allen, his play has been a little lower, but Diggs is just Mr. Consistent on the outside. I mean, you remember that game against the Vikings where he had that crazy one-hand catch and just got kind of one up by Justin Jefferson, but just shows the skill set he has. I think he's another receiver that's up there with the yards and receptions as well. Just super, super reliable on the outside. I think after Devontae Adams, I would probably have him as the second best route runner or third if you want to put Jefferson in there. But he's definitely up there. He's just open. And like you said, when you got a quarterback like Josh Allen, you need somebody on the outside like Stephon Diggs to go catch those passes. And I think he's been doing a hell of a job this year. So I got Diggs as my second AFC receiver.
Not mad at it. Number 4 might bring up some question marks. Some say might be Jamar Chase or some other company, but
I think I know where you're going, and I agree. I
it's the
agree.
fourth leading yards receiver in the AFC. He's got
Yeah.
1,000 plus, second year in the league. Alabama guy, to trust him, Jalen Waddle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's
I will
electric.
give him that.
Other than the drops he's had, which he had some issues last season with drops, but last week it was more contested catches, drops, but he's had a couple key ones down the stretch that the Dolphins made up for, so it's not as big. But nonetheless, he's always open, speedy guy. Him and
Yep.
Tyreek obviously opens up the offense for Miami. Number 4, I got Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I probably would have went with Jalen Waddle as well. And then the one receiver I had on the outside looking in was your boy Coop, man. I gave him a nod. I put him there. If I would have had the last pick, it would have been between them two for me.
That's respect. He's had a
I feel
quiet
like he had
killer
a,
season, bro.
a under the radar season. Yeah, yeah,
Jacoby Brissett, bro. That Browns offense, just the team can't play collective
yeah.
each week. So
And
yeah,
then for tight end, this is probably AFC tight end might be the easiest selection in every single like between the NFC and the AFC, easiest position ever.
just want
I
to pick
mean,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
give me Kelsey, man. I mean, what was it like seventh consecutive 1,000 yard season, setting a record? It's like every fucking year he's setting a record. Every week he's setting a record. Big reason Pat Mahomes is still having that success without Tyreek Hill. Andy Reid schemes him open, Mr. Consistent, can't guard him one on one, can't tackle him one on one. He just does it all. Best tight end in the league. Been doing it for, like I said, 7 straight seasons. I know I was a little lower on him coming into the year. I said he'd still be really good, but I thought he'd take a step back now that Tyreek wasn't there. But obviously proved me and everyone else wrong. Not even take a step back, maybe even took one forward, getting all those targets and stuff. So Kelsey is clearly the best tight end in the league right now. So I got him as my tight end one for the AFC.
tight end two, Mark Andrews, Lamar's
Yeah.
safety blanket, wide receiver one on that team. Uh,
Yeah.
Not much to say, bro. Kelsey Andrews it was clear cut for that position in this division.
Hmm.
So
Moving
yeah,
on to the O line.
yeah.
Um, for center or no, we'll do tackles. Yeah. Give me your boy down in Miami, man. Give me Armstead. I know
Big
he's been
T.
banged up, hit or miss, a few injuries throughout the season, but when he's been playing, big part of that offense being able to, move the ball downfield, keep him to an upright, give him time in the pocket to make those reads and, take those shots down the field. So it was really good for the Saints for, years over there in New Orleans. Came over in Miami, got paid, and hasn't really missed a beat when he's been playing. So I'll take Armstead.
Yeah, you know I'm messing with that pick, bro.
Yeah,
Um,
I think someone else messing with that pick too, but
um,
that's
so this one I never heard about him before this year. I was looking at some PFF grades and just
yeah.
rankings in general. Dennis Daly, plays for the Tennessee Titans. I was reading an article like his stretch he's had this year has just been insane for a tackle. Um, I know Titans fans obviously O line not really they don't get too much love, but I
Yeah, but I
know
mean they blocking for Henry, so
yeah, down there I know he's getting some love in Tennessee, and
yeah.
I know the Titans fans gonna be happy with that pick.
And then the third tackle, I'll go with Colton Miller out there in Vegas for the Raiders. Been a pretty solid tackle. I know coming out. I think he got drafted in 2018 from UCLA. Believe he was a first round pick. Super raw talent, but I mean, he's been pretty consistent out there. Really, the only stable piece on that Raiders O line. He's had a good season so far. So I'll give Colton Miller the nod out there in Vegas.
And Daily Dow, he or however you say his last name, he's from Lauderdale too. So
Yo,
shout
shout
out
out
nine
Broward,
five
man.
four.
954.
Yeah. Um,
What school you go to? High school.
it said Ridgeview High School.
I don't
That
think
was in
that's.
South Carolina.
So he moved. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
like. I never heard of that shit down here.
I was about to say, yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Center's
Center.
up next. Yep. I got the Chiefs, Creed Humphrey, man. He's been
Yeah.
kind of clear cut in the AFC. Uh he commands obviously that offensive line.
Hmm.
Leader Pat
One of the
Mahomes
best in the
trusts
league.
him. Yeah, like when you think about centers, obviously you think about Jason Kelsey. He's got more
Yeah.
public
I say
recognition, but
Creed is right behind him.
yeah, exactly. So I'm going Creed Humphrey, number
Yeah. He's young
one in
too. I think
AFC.
he's second year,
Yeah,
second,
something
third
like
year.
that. Let me check.
I think it's second year. Yeah. Um, Other safety I got is David Andrews for, or not safety, excuse me, David Andrews center for the Pats. That Pats O line has been okay this year. But I want to just give him a nod. He had a pretty decent PFF grade, and also that run game. Ramondre Stevenson's have a really good year. Damian Harris when he's in, they've been pretty good. Keeping Mac Jones upright. I know that they got their own issues on the offensive side of the ball. I think more towards play calling and staffing in New England, but they've been keeping Mac Jones and those running backs upright, and David Andrews had a pretty good season so far. So give him the nod as well.
Yeah, Creed Humphrey, 23 years old, second year, second
Yeah,
round pick last year.
I think he made the
Next
Pro
up,
Bowl last year too. So
yeah. Next up, guards, going my boy down in Cleveland. He's really been the only stable part of this offensive line all year. So it's ups and downs. Joel Batonio,
yeah,
one of the best run blockers there is, and he's a great pass blocker as well. Uh, he just gets the line moving. He's really the heart and soul of that offensive line, veteran leadership. Uh, and when you got Nick Chubb running behind you, Kareem Hunt, you're going to need a good offensive line. I know those guys are talented, but when you run the ball that much, you got to rely on your offensive line. Last week, you saw it.
yeah.
But so I got Joel Batonio.
All right. Um, one more guard. I'm gonna give the nod to Trey Smith, guard out of KC as well. We kind of just touched on it. One of the better O lines in the game, keeping Patrick Mahomes upright. And I think I was watching a video last night. I forgot who it was by, but they said one of the main things, where Patrick Mahomes was elevating his game was, his pocket presence and, him having the ability to step up in the pocket instead of, rolling out or dropping super far back, which is kind of, one of the knocks he had. And, to be able to step up in the pocket, you got to have really, really good, blocking in the interior. So I'll give Trey Smith credit. That entire Chiefs O-line has been playing super solid this year. So I think he deserves it. We'll give him the nod over there in the AFC.
No doubt.
All right. So that's our offense.
Yep. DNs. I'm going with my
Edge.
boy.
Yeah.
Yep. Myles Garrett. Nonetheless, getting double team, triple team every week, chip blocked. The way he's able to maneuver. If you ever watch a Browns game, you'll see that he's just always getting double teamed no matter what. Chip, whatever, running back, tight end, throw that left guard his way, doesn't matter. Sometimes he still finds a way. And people talk about sometimes he has those quiet weeks, and it's tough when you're out there getting uh, double teamed by a tackle and a guard. So
Yeah, it's tough. But I
Myles
think
Garrett,
yeah,
yeah,
I
DN
agree.
one
And
for me.
I believe he's also the highest graded defender on PFF too. He's having a crazy season.
He is like
Um,
90
for
plus.
me, yeah, for me, I'm rocking with my boy, man, Mad Max. I was high on him coming into this year, and out there in Vegas, really have nothing else besides him on defense, man. He's been stepping it up, getting to the quarterback. A lot of pressures. I think he is in the top for tackles for loss as well. Max Crosby had a kind of a breakout year last year, and I think he's following up with a really, really solid year this year. So I'd give Max Crosby the nod as well.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I had him at my two. Number three, I'm showing love to a Florida boy, maybe a little bit under the radar, but with that Von Miller injury, I know Bills fans are liking his Greg Rousseau.
Yeah, he
Uh,
could definitely jump up. Yeah.
yeah, he's got 8.5 sacks on the year, really solid, quiet, but I know Bills Mafia loves him, and
Hmm.
he's been playing at a good level, great size, he's got good speed off the edge.
Yeah.
DN3 for me.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. My DN3 was Jerry Hughes trying to show some love out there to the Texans. He
Yep.
had a good season. And he actually had a pretty disruptive game against the Eagles when they played a few weeks back, but it's neither here nor there. So that's our three ends. Interior, give me Chris Jones, being a super, super, super consistent player on that interior of the D line. I really think them drafting George Karlaftis and being able to have him play on the edge really helped Chris Jones, kind of bump him back into the inside because I know like last year and a few years before that they were kind of moving him to the outside on the edge, but now he gets to stay inside, play where he's most impactful at, and he's having a great season this year. Kind of helping that Chiefs defense stay in games when Patrick Mahomes is putting up all these points on offense. Chris Jones has been that consistent piece on the interior for that Chiefs D line. So I got him as my number one interior defense line in the AFC.
Number two, I'm gonna show love to the boys up in New York, man. Quinn Williams. The
Mm-hmm.
Jets have been defenses have been amazing. You talk about the back end with Sauce, obviously. Quentin
Yeah.
Williams come onto the scene as a great run stopper and has really commanded that Jets front. That you talk about the front, that's probably the most important part of the defense. If you apply pressure and you're able to stop the run near the line of scrimmage, you're gonna have success and make other teams one dimensional, which Quentin Williams has. So I got
Yeah.
him at DT2.
Yeah, and you mentioned him being a really good run stopper, but he's also up there with 11 sacks, tied for Chris
Mm-hmm.
Jones for number one in D tackle. So he's kind of added that to his game, getting towards the pass rushing or passer, excuse me. So that's two. Number three, give me Jeffrey Simmons, man, for the Titans. I know he's a little banged up towards the middle of the season, but once again, man, when it comes to these interior D linemen, you don't really hear a lot about them. Their play is more, on the field rather than, you hear them in the media and stuff. But Jeffrey Simmons for the Titans, man, one of the best interior pass rushers in the league. I believe he's also up there in sacks as well. Super, super consistent. He gets it done in the middle, and he's the reason why that Titans defense is really competitive a lot of times. So I'll get nod Jeffrey Simmons here.
Yeah. You talked about consistency. The guy that's been consistent for the past couple, I think 2 years now. DeForest Buckner,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
showing love to the big fella. Obviously, was highly drafted early on and was a little slow to start his career, but he's come
Out
on
there
to
in
the
San
scene.
Fran, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
was drafted to San Fran. He's really done a nice job over there. I think it's Indianapolis. Uh, and when you talk about the Colts, I mean they're not really known for much, but DeForest Buckner is like a key piece on that D line, someone you could build your defense around. And interior
Definitely is.
linemen are hard to find, so
Mm-hmm.
he's one of them if you have them.
Yeah. All right. Outside linebackers now. Starting it off, I'm gonna go with my midseason defensive player of the year, and I'll take Matt Judon, man. Super, super consistent on that outside. Was leading the league in sacks halfway through the year. I believe he's still up there. I don't know if he's the leader now, but he's definitely still up there. Also up there in tackles for loss, I believe as well. Had a big game against the Cardinals Monday night. Saw him kind of wreak havoc in the backfield. Just a really, really important part of that Patriots defense and why they're so good, well coached. Belichick is going to scheme them boys up, and Matt Judon has been getting it done. Been super consistent on the outside with those bright red long sleeves. Always easy to spot him.
Always
Yeah.
rocking them. Who was the guy that tweeted red sleeves are snapping?
Oh, that was
That
that
was
was like
like
last
last year.
season, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I feel like it was like a basketball player or
Yeah,
somebody,
it was
bro.
a hooper, bro.
Yeah, like fucking like I don't think it was
Anthony
Donovan
Edwards,
Mitchell.
like,
Somebody like that. I want to say like
yeah.
Donovan Mitchell or somebody. Somebody like that. Yeah, yeah. Season
Um,
snapping. Yeah,
outside linebacker too. I mean, this is someone I never heard from before this season. He was leading the league in sacks at one point, I think 4 or 5 games in the year. Alex Highsmith, the Steelers. You talk
yeah.
about TJ Watt, he's been out most of the year.
Stepped up.
You get Watt back now. He's probably gonna get the single blocker. I mean, he was probably getting double teamed while Watt was out. So now that really opens up his game one-on-one on the edge. And he's played well
Mhm.
for the Pittsburgh Steelers and kind of held down that pass rush for him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's definitely kind of had his breakout season, double digit sacks this year, I believe. Stepped up when TJ Watt's been out. Um, Number three linebacker, I'm gonna give the nod to Khalil Mack, man, out there in LA. That Chargers defense has kind of been subpar this year. A lot of injuries, missing Bosa. They're missing J.C. Jackson. He's out for the season, but Khalil Mack has had a pretty consistent, quiet season. I believe he's been healthy most of the season, and I think kind of a bounce back year for him. He's been pretty good out there in LA, so I'll give him the last nod here for my Pro Bowl selection for outside linebackers.
I'm rocking with it. And welcome back, man. Little technical difficulties. Y'all probably saw it pop up on my screen. Uh, Zoom only allows 30 minutes free recording, so this might happen one more time throughout the episode. We were at just finished outside linebackers. Moving on, middle linebackers. I got this is not really middle linebacker one, but I think it should make the list for the Pro Bowl guy, new team, Roquan Smith. He's inside linebacker. I think he has like near double digit sacks. So
Mm-hmm.
I know they're in a 3-4, but end of the day, Roquan Smith, you know he can stop the run, and you know he could rush the passer with the best of them. Put him in any package. You can line him up almost anywhere if you really want to. It's technically listed as inside linebacker. I got him in my Pro Bowl selection.
Yeah, and number two, I'm gonna rock with Nick Bolton, man, linebacker out there in KC. Believe he is tied for first in solo tackles, excuse me, for inside linebackers. Just watching the Chiefs defense, man. Number 32 is just all over the field. You see him flying everywhere, all over the ball. Signal caller in the middle of that defense. So I think he should get the nod. Chiefs have been playing really good. He's been playing good football this year. So I'll give him the nod for linebacker number two.
Linebacker number 3 for me, I don't even know how to say his name, but when you look at the team, not known for defense, the
Wait,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
we doing three linebackers or just two?
3.
All
I'm just
right,
gonna
three. All
throw this
right.
one. He's
Yeah.
he's the leader in tackles this season. So pronouncing his name wrong, sorry, Jags fans or anybody that actually knows how to say it. Foeside
Oh,
Alukun.
Aluakam.
Yeah,
Aluakam. Yeah,
Alukon.
yeah.
Yeah,
Aluakam.
bro. He's
Yeah.
been balling out. He got 100 plus tackles already. You look at the Jags defense. You might compare it to almost when Rashad Jones led the league in tackles for the Dolphins at safety. Saying no one else is on the team. Of course, he got to make the tackle. But I mean, he's doing his job inside linebacker. You're not flashy. You're making tackles when they come up the gaps, running backs, over the middle. He's done his job over there in Jacksonville. I got him as well. Interior linebacker 3.
Yeah. All right. So starting with the corners, give me Sauce, man.
I
Rookie.
was about to say.
Yeah. Arguably playing defensive rookie of the year. He's been playing lockdown, man. I believe the best coverage grade for a corner or best corner grade on PFF right now. I mean, you see him, man. He's a long range corner, always making big plays. He has the swag, bringing back that, Revis Island 2.0 in New York, lockdown corner. Sauce is a home run pick for the Jets, man. He'll be locked down for years to come on the outside for them. So give me Sauce number one.
Yeah, and I'm going with another young corner. This one just a little bit older, Pat Surtain.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. Over there in Denver, he's been locking it up almost against anybody besides Devontae Adams that one week where he
and
was
DJ
talking his
Moore.
shit. Oh, yeah, DJ Moore did cook him. But, I mean,
He's
you
been
look at
he's
the
been
Denver
balling, man.
Broncos, one of the best defenses in the league. And credit to Pat Surtain, they traded Bradley Chubb. Pass rush not where it was for him.
Hmm.
He's stepped his game up, become one of the bright young talents in the league. Pat Surtain, CB2.
Yeah. CB3 for me. Give me Marlon Humphrey, man. I know that Ravens defense has been kind of up and down, but he's been balling this year, man. Whoa, why are you looking like that? Why are you looking
I
like
just
that?
I don't think Marlon Humphrey all that, but I mean he has put up good numbers. He
Yeah,
has
he
played
has the
decent.
numbers. He's been playing good. He's always, physical corner, always willing to come down and make that tackle in the run game. So, corner three, I think he deserves it. I think he'll get the nod. So, give me Marlon Humphrey.
Well, earlier in the show, you picked Justin Herbert as your quarterback, who I don't think should have been on the list. I had this guy just because I want to talk about him at the end as an honorable mention. But now I'm just gonna outright pick him. Martin Emerson of the Cleveland Browns, bro. He see, I knew you were gonna, bro. He's locked up anybody that Joe Woods has put him on. This is a guy who's tossed in. I think he's given up actually like 3 catches the whole year. Had Mike Evans locked him down. Um, his worst game was probably against the Bengals, and I think he gave up 1 blur, and that was it. But
Hmm.
I got Martin Emerson. He needs to get shown his respect. Wasn't a highly drafted. I think he was a 3rd-round pick, but he's slowly become. He dropped because I mean he had one of the worst 40 times I think, and maybe vertical in the draft among DBs. But he's got size. He's got length. Uses that jam at the line, and he really uses size to his advantage. But if not, Jack Jones is a viable pick of the New England Patriots.
Yeah. Would you say Martin Emerson's the best corner on the Browns right now
Right now, yeah,
over
100%.
Denzel?
He's outplaying Denzel Ward. He's outplaying Denzel. But he's CB2 on that team, obviously. But Denzel Ward is definitely had a down year. And I think it's kind of schemes when it comes down to Joe Woods. They were
Yeah.
running a lot of zone early in the year, but I think he's gonna be fine next year.
All right, wrapping it up with safeties, man. Give me Derwin James, arguably the best safety in the league. Finally got a full season healthy under his belt, and you see his impact, man. Kind of, the only bright star that's been on that Chargers defense this year with all the injuries and everyone banged up and stuff. He's been making plays, flying all over the field. One of the best safeties in the league, if not the best. Give me Derwin James.
Yeah, I'm a rock with someone in Buffalo who's been banged up, shown a lot of heart. He's really the leader of this team, Buffalo Bills. Jordan Poyer, Trey White's been out a lot. Micah Hyde's been out a lot. Jordan Poyer, I think it was against the Chiefs. They said he couldn't fly because of his lungs. This man
Yeah.
drove from Buffalo, New York to Kansas City himself. I'm pretty sure it was himself. I'm not sure. Either way, man,
Yeah.
he's got heart. Leader of that defense. It really commands them. Pretty sure he's the signal caller over there as well. And in the Buffalo defense, they've been one of the top defenses in the league,
For
arguably
sure.
top 5.
Yeah.
So I got Jordan Poyer on that list.
And then I'll just wrap it up with Minka Fitzpatrick. Also, really, really good safety. Super consistent in the back end. Kind of, with TJ Watt being out, I think he's been banged up a little bit this season, but he's been the only really consistent bright spot on that Steelers defense. So give me Minka Fitzpatrick, man.
I knew you were gonna pick him anyways. That's why I didn't even want to say his name.
Yeah, if you would have picked him, I would have picked Jalen Petrie though, the rookie on the
Jalen
Texans.
Peachy. He's been snapping, bro.
He's been
Yes.
flying all over the field. Caught that pick against Deshaun, I think, too.
Yeah, I mean he was looking right at him, but well, I guess we'll talk about it when the Browns come up.
Yeah.
Thursday Night Football, man. Starting off our picks. San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks, man. Brock Purdy balled out last week. Seahawks didn't look too hot.
Mm-mm.
A lot of weapons over there in San Fran. Give me
Yeah.
Brock Purdy. I got the 49ers winning this one.
Yeah, I just think this comes down to the 49ers defense just being, leaps and bounds the best defense in the league. Kind of tough. I got, going into the fantasy football playoffs, I got Geno as my quarterback in the league. So not feeling too good about that. Started him against this 49ers defense, but ultimately I'm gonna rock with the Niners. Like you said, McCaffrey, he's been stepping it up a notch. They got those weapons on the outside, although Debo went down with a sprained ankle. Still got Ayuk. He's been solid this year. Kittle, safety blanket for Purdy. I think, Purdy just has to continue to play his, game manager role, protect the ball, don't turn it over. Seahawks defense isn't that really to write home about. And I think this 49ers defense can kind of, stop this Seahawks offense, which has been the strong suit of their team so far. So give me the 49ers.
Well, back to the Saturday games, man. Week 15 in the NFL season. First Saturday game up. Colts Vikings. Not sure this is must watch TV, but I mean, look at the Vikings that had a terrible week last week. Colts really, I mean, they're not playing for too much. I think they're still in the race, but you might as well count them out.
Yeah.
I got the
That's crazy.
Minnesota
Count them out.
Vikings. Jay Jets last week had the most quiet 200-yard game you could possibly have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, come on, bro. He's top 3 in the NFL right now. You can't even argue that.
Easily.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings against the Colts at home. Skull Nation.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Vikings, Colts really don't scare me. I know their defense has been, kind of on the better side of things this year. But I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, this isn't really, entertaining or must watch football. All you need to know is Justin Jefferson's gonna go for some crazy ass stats, bro.
I'm
Gonna
playing
have
him this
some.
week, bro. I don't want him to, but go ahead.
I mean, it's inevitable, bro. Like you said, 200. I think he had like 220 yards or some shit like that last week on 11, 12 catches. Crazy numbers. He's Mr. Consistent. Kirk always gonna find them, and I think the Vikings should, handle business pretty good at home against the Colts.
Yeah, second game to
Although
watch.
one thing I
Go
will
ahead.
say is their defense need to tighten up going to the playoffs because Jared Goff just looked like fucking 2018 Jared Goff on their ass last week. Put up crazy,
Yeah, Sean
throwing all
McVay
over
calling
him.
that.
Yeah, throwing all over him, bro.
Second one up is not really must watch unless you're a fan of this team like me. Uh, Divisional matchup,
No, I think this is
Ravens.
this is a good game.
It's a good game, but I think the last one's probably going to be the best. Browns Ravens or Ravens
Oh no,
Browns in
yeah. I mean,
Cleveland.
yeah.
First Energy Stadium. It's a 4 o'clock game. Uh, Tyler Huntley going to be starting quarterback. Can the Browns finally play complimentary football? Probably not. Uh, Everyone wants to talk about Deshaun Watson, like he's not looking good, bro. But if someone actually watched that football game last week, they would realize Deshaun actually played pretty good football, way better than he did against the Texans. Had 200 plus
Mm-hmm.
passing yards, had like 30 on the ground, and he was really commanding that last drive before he threw that pick. And I think it was just game speed. He's still trying to get there. Uh, Talent, arm
Yeah.
strength is still there. You look at the ball; it's got so much more zip on it compared to watching Jacoby Brissett. Ground game couldn't get going whatsoever. Defense can't make plays when they need to. This one, I got the Browns banged up. Tyler Huntley. I want to see Deshaun get a win at home, and I believe Cleveland's last home game of the year.
Yeah, I just went to check the spread to see like what the points for this game was, and it's the Browns are favored by 3 points. So I picked the Browns as well. I think, Deshaun has his best game so far as a Cleveland Brown in his career. Kind of gets back on track against the shaky Ravens defense. And like you said, I mean, no Lamar, game changer, man. Tyler Huntley, nowhere near the same level as Lamar. I think this Browns defense kind of highlighted, the two Pro Bowlers we selected for that defense. Myles Garrett, he's going to be a staple on that edge. Can they control him? And then kind of mentioned the young player Martin Emerson. Can he step up? I think they get it done, man. I think the Browns are going to win at home, and Deshaun Watson kind of has his, first big game as a Cleveland Brown.
Yeah, threw his first touchdown last week. Njoku on it was just a play action bootleg, but I
Mm-hmm.
really want to see them open the offense up and try to see like let the man cook.
Yeah.
Last game up Saturday night prime time 8 o'clock window, tough one. Miami Dolphins travel on the road against the Buffalo Bills. You look at this, man. It's gonna be a cold one. Probably might be snowing. Who knows yet? But this is the toughest task for Tua. Uh, as any Dolphins fan knows, you look at the schedule, you see Buffalo Bills late in the year in Buffalo. The Dolphins never win there. They know this. Everybody knows this. They're allergic to winning in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Cold weather plays a huge factor. They're not used to it at all. But I got to rock with my Dolphins. I got to see Tua get back on track. Most important thing, establish the run. This is something that Mike McDaniel needs to make a focal point this week, especially in a game like this. Tua made a comment. Someone asked him about the weather, and he said it's a mindset thing. I don't think it's a mindset thing. I don't know what he was talking about there,
I think
but
it's a
hopefully
real
he
thing.
balls
Yeah.
out, bro. And Tyreek Hill banged up too. Doesn't help at all. But Cheetah, he's always hurt, but he's always gonna at least be on the field limping until he literally tears
Yeah.
something and can't walk.
Um, this is the first pick where we go separate ways. I'm gonna pick the Bills, man.
I'm not
Tough
mad.
game. Yeah, I mean, tough game last week against the Jets where they kind of, squeaked out a win. Josh Allen still isn't playing the best football, isn't looking really too good. But that weather, man, that's the big concerning thing for me. I saw somewhere they said last against the Chargers, it was 55 degrees in LA and they had the top open, and the Dolphins had the warmers on the sideline from when it was 55 degrees. So I can only imagine how cold they're going to be out there in Buffalo in the middle of December. Like you said, it's going to be might be snowing, super, super cold. And we're really going to see what Tua is made of. Can he, go in that cold weather? Because that's been the one knock on him his entire career. Can he go in those hostile environments late in the year? Weather's a factor, and can he deliver? I think he'll have a pretty good game. Like you said, I believe in Mike McDaniels. We both picked him as, or I think I picked Sirianni, and you picked McDaniels as your coach of the year, halfway point. So either way, one of the brightest offensive minds we have in the game. I think he'll, scheme something up, but I just think Bills Mafia, that weather, Josh Allen, a few big runs, running over somebody, hurdling a defender, getting the crowd involved. I think it'll just be a little too much for the Dolphins to overcome. I think it'll be a really good game, but ultimately at home late in the season, I think the Bills get it done, man.
Over under 150 tables broken at that game.
Give me the over, bro. Give me the over.
I thought that was too low anyways, but I just
Especially if they win, that's like a before the game kind of number, bro.
yeah,
In
that's a
total, oh
tailgate
my
number.
gosh,
Tailgate
yeah,
number.
yeah, tailgate number. If they win, oh man, they're probably fucking breaking tables all day.
um, First Sunday game up, Eagles Bears in Chicago. Justin Fields, he can run for 300 yards. I really doesn't matter for me. Haven't believed in the Bears all season. Still don't. Philly way better. Jalen Hurts upgraded Justin Fields. Uh, Give me the Eagles. I finally got to show love.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the Eagles here as well, and this is just because the offense, man. I feel like I be saying this every single week we come on the show. It's
Every
like the
week.
offense every week the offense just shows that all right, Jalen Hurts is gonna go out here, he's gonna protect the ball, not throw any interceptions, he's gonna air it out, find Devontae Smith down the field, AJ Brown on a 3-game touchdown streak. Would like to see him keep that going. He got 10 touchdowns. I think Miles Sanders and AJ Brown both to clip 1,000 yards this year. And that defense, man, that D line is really, really getting after it now. I believe first in the league in sacks, second in the league in QB hits or pressures. And if I'm not mistaken, we have 5 players with 6 or more sacks already in the year. I think Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Brendan Graham, Fletcher Cox, and Javon Hargrave all have 5 or more sacks this season. So we got a deep, deep rotation. Guys are going to be fresh on the field. Only thing that concerns me this game is Justin Fields' running ability. We saw against the Titans, Ryan Tannehill is kind of getting out of the pocket and moving the ball. And then last week, Daniel Jones, he kind of, got going on the ground a little bit. And Tyrod Taylor came out at the end and had a nice run. I think like a little 30-yard rush. That's the one place the Eagles have been, kind of not like bad in, because I don't think we're a bad defense, but they've been susceptible to letting up some yards. Is that quarterback running? At first, it just seemed the run game, but back to back weeks, shut out Derrick Henry, shut out Saquon. So I think we're good in that situation. But I I wouldn't put a big running game past Justin Fields. If he goes over 100 rushing yards, I wouldn't be too surprised. But at the end of the day, I don't think Justin Fields running all over the place is going to be enough to keep up with this Eagles offense, who can run the ball, and the Bears are one of the worst run teams in the league, and who can air the ball out. They're one of the worst pass defenses in the league. Also, Dallas Goedert seemed to be like he's activated off the IR. Was at practice today, so hopefully we get him back. He's been a huge, huge part of this offense so far. But I mean, Eagles should get it done on the road. Shouldn't be nothing to worry about. But don't put a big game past Justin Fields this week. I'm gonna just put that out
Go ahead and feed Miles Sanders again for me. I need it.
there. He's been eating, man. He's been having the best season of his career, and I don't know if the Eagles will pay him, but I think he'll definitely get a good paycheck somewhere.
Next game up. Talked about the Lions earlier. They travel to New York against the Jets. Lions Jets. Here I got the Jets. You were talking about how they played different at home, and they really do. The Lions, they're traveling on the road. Probably going to be a cold one in New York, anyways.
Yeah, they're used to that dome.
Only question mark is Mike White playing?
I think it might be Zach Wilson. I'm not sure.
Ah,
Let me look it
shit.
up.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Mike White plays Jets. Zach Wilson plays Lions. But
Apparently
Mike
they
White
said
got
they had like apparently they said they had like a ambulance waiting for him after the game, like because he got hit so bad.
fam.
Like
He
he was
got
like
folded
so
like a
yes.
lawn chair.
Russo pretty much ended him, bro.
And if that's the case, I'll take the Lions. But if
I
he
think
plays like,
I think Mike White might be playing.
yeah, I got the
Zach Wilson
Jets
the
then, bro.
backup.
I mean, Joe Flacco should be back up, but
Yeah, I just looked it up. They said. Yeah,
all
just
right.
preparing
So
to have Mike White as their QB
I'm a rock with the Jets and Mike White then.
despite post game hospital trips. Nigga's a dog,
Damn.
man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I've been kind of high on the Jets all year. That defense is pretty crazy. I think this will be a fun game to see that Lions offense and it's Jets defense and see how they match up. But Lions are, bro, it's crazy to say, but right now, Lions are in playoff contention, bro. Lions are playing for a playoff spot. They're arguably the hottest team in the league right now. I don't even think you would say arguably. I think they are the hottest team in the league right now. I believe they won, I think, 5 of the last 6 or 4 of the last 5. They're getting things going. Jamison Williams is back, caught a touchdown on his first NFL career pass. That was cool to see. Big deep threat over there out of Alabama, coming off of ACL surgery. Another weapon for Jared Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown has been playing good. You know what that run game is going to do. Swift is going to get him down the field, and Jamal Williams will punch it in. So there's no shortage of scoring on this Lions offense. I think it'll just be a super, super good game, but I think it just comes down to momentum, man. The Lions just have everything going their way right now. Big win on the road against, or were they at home against the Vikings?
They're
I
at
think they
home.
were in Minnesota. Oh, they're at home. Either way, big win against the Vikings. They got momentum rolling for them. I just think this is one of those games where, the ball just falls the Lions' way. 1 or 2 big plays end up on the Lions' side, and in a good battle, in a good game, the Lions get it done on the road.
Next game up, Steelers, Panthers in Carolina. You talked about it. They got a shot to win that NFC South. And I'm rocking with them against the Steelers, bro. I mean, I haven't been high on the Steelers at all. Doesn't matter who they're throwing out for me. Sam Darnold leading the Panthers, I guess. But you talked about that ground game. I think they got a little 1-2 punch right now that's working for him between Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, two gritty guys that kind of not RB1s, really. I mean, Foreman was an RB2, and so was Chuba Hubbard. Foreman might have been RB3 to start the year. So you look at it, I mean, Chuba Hubbard, he's been a solid backup for McCaffrey in the years past, and you see him kind of continuing playing serviceable in the ground game.
And Foreman stepped up for Derrick Henry
Thursday
the past
night.
few years in Tennessee.
Yeah,
he's had a few big games too. Yeah,
no, you're right. I got the Panthers on this one. Steelers just they're not doing it for me, man.
Yeah, and I think the Panthers, I don't think they're quite as hot as the Lions right now, but I think they're another one of those sneaky teams, man, where they just been kind of like silently winning a few good games under the radar, man. And I believe Kenny Pickett is questionable. They're saying Mason Rudolph, might be the starter coming up this week. Apparently, Kenny Pickett was limited in practice today. So we'll see. But either way, Panthers are just playing good football. They're running the game. They're playing to their strengths. They're, limiting Sam Darnold throwing the ball, and that seems to be what's working for them. So, and I think it'll be an ugly, low-scoring game, like fucking like 13-9 or some shit like that. But I think the Panthers get it done at home. Give me Panthers.
Next game up, Kansas City Chiefs travel to Houston against the Texans, who they went off last week, man.
They gave the Cowboys a good fight, yeah.
Let's just be honest, man. They almost pulled that one off.
Little foreshadowing to my pick coming up, but we'll get to it.
What, the Cowboys missing the playoff? Oh, all right.
Cowboys.
This week, I mean, come on. The Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, probably going to handle business, even if the Texans make it close.
Yeah.
It's just two different teams at two different levels, and the Chiefs are going to show why they're AFC Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, pretty much you said it all right there, man. Chiefs, I mean, one of the best teams in the league right now. Playing with who I believe is the best quarterback in the league right now. Texans, they showed some fight last week, man, against the Cowboys. Put up some good numbers, made some big plays. I think it was the receiver Moore, I believe, who had a big game. He had like 100 yards or something like that.
Sky Moore?
But at the end of for the Texans. I could be wrong, but some young guy. He had a big game against the Cowboys, but ultimately, I think the Chiefs are just a better team, better coach, better offense. They'll scheme it up. Mahomes will make some crazy play that you'll see all over social media, and the Chiefs will end up winning. But I kind of touched on earlier, little MVP conversation. Right now, it seems to, all the talk seems to be Jalen Hurts versus Patrick Mahomes, and I want to know, what do you think? Where do you stand on the MVP race right now? Who do you got?
Right now, I got to go with Jalen Hurts. You look at the numbers. NFL's an analytic league. Now, do I think he finish? It depends on this end stretch. Mahomes could end up winning it if he finishes this off and doesn't have one of those bad games, throws a couple picks. But I mean, Jalen Hurts getting it done in the air, on the ground. You mentioned just that offense. They can run it, they could throw it. Miles Sanders, the weapons on the outside. They
Yeah,
just got it clicking right now. It's kind of like Tua in Miami when they had it going. It was the weapons around them. The offense was clicking. I just think it's the same in Philly. And I think you could say that Jalen Hurts right now is MVP of the NFL.
yeah. Um, Honestly, if I had to pick right now, I would pick Pat Mahomes. Now, I don't know if this is, me indulging in too much biased Nick Wright content or, me being a very conservative Eagles fan. We've never had well, when we did have Carson Wentz playing at an MVP level, he got injured. So I don't want to jump the gun yet. Obviously, I do think Jalen Hurts deserves it. And if he wins it, I'll be super excited. But I mean, Nick Wright made a really good point, and you kind of said the analytics and numbers and stuff, and I believe Patrick Mahomes in just passing yards, I believe he has more passing yards than Jalen Hurts has combined rushing and passing. I think he has, I believe, more touchdowns passing than Hurts has uh passing and rushing as well. That could be wrong though, but I mean, Nick Wright, he did a good little analysis of the teams. He just went down the line, is like just named every part of the team, and it's like Eagles are better in every single category except quarterback. And it's like if the Chiefs called up the Eagles right now, it was like, we'll give you Patrick Mahomes for Jalen Hurts straight up. Like I don't think any team in the league will turn that down. So ultimately, I do think Patrick Mahomes is deserving of the MVP, but kind of like you said, you know how these awards go, recency bias, and they want more variety. If Jalen Hurts wins it, I think he's totally, totally deserving. But if I was on the ballot and I had to make my pick, honestly, I would give it to Patrick Mahomes right now, man. It's just with what's around him and how he's playing so far, and the games he's in, I think he deserves it. But that's no shot at Jalen Hurts. I think he's having a Josh Allen like leap this year, to where we saw, Josh Allen in his second year, he was kind of iffy. And then he took that super, super big leap in his third year. And now we look at him at a, top three, top five quarterback in the league. And I think Jalen Hurts, we're watching him make that same jump right now, where last year, going into this offseason, I'll be one to admit, bro, I was like, is he the answer at quarterback? All the Eagles fan pages I was following, doing super early, too early mock drafts, had us taking a quarterback with one of our first round picks, doing the scouting on the quarterbacks and stuff. But Jalen Hurts has been nothing short of amazing this year. Proved everyone wrong. Proved he is that quarterback one. And I think the Eagles have done a great job building that offense around him. Really showing how important it is, to get a really, really good line, to get those weapons, to get a run game, and get a system that fits your guys. So, I mean, if Jalen Hurts wins it, I wouldn't be mad. But yeah, that's just my little MVP take.
So here's my thoughts real quick when it comes to Pat Mahomes. Take a guess. Mahomes is tied for third with Josh Allen in interceptions with 11.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to take a guess at who the other two QBs are ahead of him?
I believe, is it Matt Ryan?
That's one. He's got 13. Someone
Yeah,
with
he
12.
leads the league, right?
Yep.
And is it Justin Fields at number two?
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills, yeah, yeah.
So I think Hurts, I don't know how many exactly he
He
has.
only has three, and two of them were
Three.
tipped or dropped by receivers.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm going with
Yeah,
him, and leads
like
the league in
bro.
passer rating. He beats
Yeah.
Tua out by 0.2% at 108.4.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. And you could say they're better, but Patrick Mahomes has Travis Kelce, who, I mean, obviously the team's not better, but Juju's no scrub on the outside either. They got weapons themselves,
They
and they
do.
got Andy Reid at head coach. So,
Yeah, Pacheco
um,
stepped up too.
hmm
Yeah,
and Chris Moore was the Houston receiver. He's
yeah.
not young. He's 29. Uh,
Never mind. I take it back. Sorry, Chris Moore.
but next game up, we got that was just what Chiefs Texans. So we got Falcons Saints in
Yeah.
in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Mariota out for season. Give me New Orleans and the Red Rifle.
Desmond Ritter time, baby. like I said, I'm picking against the Saints the rest of the year. I want that draft pick to just go up and up for the Eagles. I really don't care about this game at all, other than the Saints losing. Will Anderson to Philadelphia. That's what we're hoping for. Give me the Falcons, man. They figure out a way to get it done. Both of these teams are kind of bottom of the barrel. Desmond Ritter breaks out. He's the future in Atlanta. Desmond Ritter to Kyle Pitts. Drake London's the big three down there in ATL. They win big.
Kyle Pitts is done for the season too, bud.
Oh, yeah, he is on IR. Damn, I forgot. He's on my fantasy team. Well, next year. He'll be
you're
the
funny. You're
future big
funny.
three.
Next game up, the
Shout out
game you
Drake
were.
London, too, man. Putting off the light
Yeah.
skins.
All right, yeah, the game you were predicting and you wanted to talk about, Cowboys Jags in Jacksonville. The Jags pulled off a dub last week, man.
They did.
But I'm gonna rock with the Cowgirls. Go ahead and give your take why you're not picking them.
Yeah, give me the Jags at home this week. We saw what the Texans were able to do on the road against the Cowboys, and honestly, it literally just came down to quarterback play not being enough for the Texans. They were running like a fucking two quarterback system with, I believe, Jeff Driscoll. Shout out
Yeah,
Jeff Driscoll, UF
UF
legend.
legend.
Yeah, Jeff Driscoll, and then Davis Mills came in at the end of the game. So give me Trevor Lawrence, bro. Came, I believe, last game kind of proven this season, over the season, the last game especially, that he's here to stay, showing why he was that number one pick, kind of, touted as that generational talent, best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. And we're seeing it, man. He's looking confident in that pocket. He's dealing the ball. He's making the throws all over the field. And I think Trevor Lawrence can give that Cowboys defense some issues. And, Trayvon Diggs, he's been playing good. Michael Parsons, arguably the best defensive player in the league, but still, Texans offense was able to go down, give them some fits. And I believe the Jaguars offense right now is, far ahead of the Texans. So give me the Jags with the upset, man. I like the Jaguars, man. Plus, Michael Parsons was talking shit against Jalen Hurts, saying that is it the quarterback of the system? So I'm not fucking with the Cowboys. We ready? We ready for on Christmas, bro. Christmas Eve. We ready?
They got a Saturday game.
Yeah, I believe the primetime game Saturday
All
night
right,
in Jerry World next week or
we'll
the
be watching that
24th. I'm
at
not sure if
Caden.
I'm not. Yeah, I believe it's next week.
You know that's must watch TV. You might have to slide out for that one.
Game of the year, dog.
Shit. Hopefully the spot's open. We'll see. Cardinals
Spots
Broncos
open where?
is Christmas Eve. Hopefully the bar's
Oh, you're talking
open.
about going out and watching? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Damn, I think I
we
will
we
be able to
don't we
watch
don't
it. Yeah.
condone drinking either.
The over age of 21, get right, bro. Like, come on now.
You know we might have some young
Drink,
viewers out
drink
here.
responsibly. Drink of age, bro. But
Call it Uber. Cardinals Broncos in Denver. Cardinals lost Kyler for the year.
tough.
Yeah, tough
Is Russ
loss.
out too? I believe Russ might be out.
He might,
He had a
but
concussion.
hopefully Kyler gets back next year healthy.
Yeah.
They just got to look forward to next year and hopefully a new coach maybe. So somehow I'm taking Broncos country here in Denver. Mile High, probably going to be the biggest X factor of this game.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, as bad as the Broncos offense has been this year, their defense has been top of the league, up there with the Cowboys, up there with 49ers. Their defense has been super, super good. And against Colt McCoy, career journeyman, had a few big games early on in his career out there in Washington, moved around a little bit. But ultimately, I just think it comes down to this Broncos defense at home, being able to make some big plays, making it as easy as possible for that Broncos offense. And like you said, no Kyler, new coach coming in possibly. Reports saying that the Cardinals players, just quit on the team already. So time to pack them up. Looking forward to next year, the Broncos.
Probably everybody but Buda Baker.
Got that hurt, man. And
So
Marco Wilson. Shout out Marco, man.
Yeah. Another UF legend.
And Robbie, too. Shout out Robbie, man. And Hollywood.
Yeah.
Bro, they basically just have South Florida on that team.
Yeah, I was
bro.
about to say, might as well ring up
Think of the
Robbie to
Broward
score a
County
touchdown
Cardinals.
on the Jets in a Madden franchise.
Yo, did you see that catch he had against the Patriots, though? That one-hander over the middle?
Nah.
She was clean, fam. A little highlight play, fam. Like a
I
little
bet it
20-yarder
was,
over the
bro.
middle, laid out. Snide that bitch.
Anyways, Welcome back, man. Third and final time. Probably with a little cut. But we just left off, man. Next game up, New England Patriots travel to Las Vegas against the Raiders. They let Mac Jones cook last game. They're doing a lot of talking in the media.
Yeah.
They're letting him cook. They got a big play, fumble six. Pat's defense did. I always talk
Mm-hmm.
about Bill Belichick coach teams, and they're going to come up big and not going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Defense came through for him, playing the disappointing Raiders. I mean, really, they got Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams. You talked about two of the best offensive players, but really can't seem to do much. I think you might see some numbers from them this week. I think
Mm-hmm.
they might take away Devontae Adams, to be honest. You might see Josh Jacobs run for 100 yards. You think it's
Need
the other
Adams
way
to eat,
around?
man.
All right.
I just need him to eat
Um,
for my fantasy team.
I'm playing against Josh Jacobs, so I don't like it either. But I'm going with the Pats on this one. Mac Jones talked about Stevenson, big run game. Harris I think he's a little banged up. I'm not sure, but either
Mm-hmm.
way,
I think Stevenson got
Stevenson
hurt that last game too.
is Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Stevenson didn't come back in.
Yeah, won
Um,
me my week, bro. Got me into the playoffs.
so,
Fantasy.
so you need help, huh?
James Conner 8, and then Stevenson going down helped as well.
Yeah, but so I mean, regardless, I got the Pats. Talked about Mac Jones getting it cooking. Raiders don't have too much of a defense, so I'm a rock with Bill Belichick, even though I want them to
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah, give me the Patriots at home as well, man. Mac Jones seems to be playing the best football this year when he's cursing out and telling Matt Patricia to stop calling plays. It's like every week they just show like Matt Jones like, oh, can you read his lips? And it looks like he's just like yelling at the coaches and just not interested at all on the play calls on the sideline. But ultimately, I think this Patriots team is a lot better than the Raiders. And I don't think Josh McDaniels gets his revenge game. I think he loses to his former coaching staff, and Belichick kind of schools him. So it'll be interesting to see a lot of history between these two coaches. So, but at the end of the day, give me Belichick, man. Give me the Patriots, better coach. They'll probably make a big special teams play, big defensive play. You know they play good football on all three levels. So I'll take the Patriots.
I was gonna say Bill Belichick knows McDaniels better than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next game up, Tennessee Titans travel to Los Angeles SoFi against the Chargers. Justin Herbert got his weapons, had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Yeah,
I was seeing throws that were just insane last week against the Dolphins. I mean, you can't even put the blame. Xavier Howard, it was a deep pass on him. Mike
yeah,
Williams went up above him. You can't even put the blame on X at that point. I mean, he had lockdown coverage. He was breathing right on him. It could have called flags, like with the way they called.
yeah,
But Mike Williams, Justin Herbert putting a ball in a perfect spot where only Mike Will can go get it. Austin Eckler, we talked about him, Pro Bowl selection. That offense got too much firepower to be losing at home. I mean, they played at home last week. Against the Titans, don't have too much. The Derrick Henry may be a big game, but
yeah.
that Chargers defense does lack. We talked about it. Only Derwin on that back end. But
Mm-hmm.
regardless, I mean, you just gotta be rocking with the Chargers. And after last
And
week,
shout out your boy. Who was the corner for the Chargers? He talked about last week.
Mike Davis, Mike
Mike
Davis,
Davis. Yeah, 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 yeah.
he got blurred
Tyreek Bird is that?
trip,
Yeah,
but he was
that's
actually
tough.
locking some shit up, bro. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate.
Well, I think it'll be
He
a
did a
lot
good
easier
job.
week this week regarding Robert Woods. So
Yeah, because what Traylon Burke's still out.
I believe so. Yeah, the concussion.
Yeah, so I
But
mean, yeah, you just go ahead, bro. I got the Chargers.
yeah, you pretty much said it all there, man. Justin Herbert looked like he played the best game of the year so far. I also believe that was the first game this year where he had both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams start and finish the game together on the same field. So kind of saw that chemistry, that connection that they were hitting on last year. And Justin Herbert just playing elite quarterback level football right now, carrying the Chargers. Defense kind of banged up, missing some players, but as long as they make a few plays here and there, get enough stops, Justin Herbert, he's good enough to make enough plays on his own, especially against a kind of one-dimensional Titans offense where they're going to just try to run it with Derrick Henry. Tannehill, not the best passer of the world. I just think the Chargers are hot, man. Coming off of a big win against Tua and the Dolphins, they're in playoff contentions. Justin Herbert trying to make the playoffs for the first time in his career. Can it be this year? It's looking like it. Chargers are hot, man. I'll take the Chargers.
Bengals travel to Tampa, Raymond James against the Bucks. What Bucks team are we gonna get? The one that's serviceable or the one that we saw last
Yeah.
week? I really don't think it matters. Joe Burrow, Bengals, they're clicking right now. They're hot
Yep.
in that AFC North. They want that title back. Right now it's up for grabs between them and Baltimore. So I think they got to get a win on the road, and I do think they're gonna win. I'm picking the Bengals in this one. But shout out Brady with his new girlfriend, bro. She's bad. I see you, Brady.
Yeah. Kind of like you mentioned, man. I think Joe Burrow has something to prove, man. Coming to this game, he sees all the buzz. He knows his name's trying to get, creeped up into that MVP conversation, and I think he has another big game against a solid unit in the Bucks defense. Although we just saw Purdy put up 35 points against them, but it'll be on the road, so it'll be a tough game. But Jamar Chase back healthy. T. Higgins, I know he is a little banged up. Hopefully he plays. Boyd, he's been banged up. So it's pretty much going to be all on Joe Burrow. And if Joe Burrow can go on the road down there against a division leader in the Buccaneers and put on a good performance and throw the ball around and win this game, I think he'll just continue to strengthen his argument for MVP. And I think he does that, and Joe Burrow gets it done. Joe Cool on the road in Tampa. Give me the Bengals.
Who has more nicknames than Joe Burrow in the NFL? Joe Cool, Joe
It's close.
Shiesty, Joey
Joe.
B, Joe. Yeah.
It's close.
Um, Sunday Night Football divisional matchup, NFC East, and Giants travel to Washington against the Commanders. It
Yo,
seems
can I
like
put another tie?
you put a tie for this game.
Imagine if they tie again.
Um,
That'd be
Giant,
insane.
yeah, the Giants. I think they're 7-5-1 now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
something like
Commanders had
that.
a bye last week.
Yeah. Giants. They really haven't been clicking lately. Team's been banged up. You look at them up and down. Saquon, he's really gonna need to get it going if they want to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Commanders kind of that almost the same boat. Uh, just a notch down of the Giants in the record, but it comes down to it. I'm not sure, is Heineke playing this week? I
I think he should be. What? I didn't even know he was injured.
I don't I just saw some reports like I think he's playing though.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's an injury. I just think they're just shopping around, but nonetheless, man, Commanders at home. Giants really touched on it, not playing good football. Down the stretch, it's important to finish the season strong. They started really strong. Brian Dable can only do so much right now. Daniel Jones, he needs to have a big game, kind of snap back. But I'm going with the Commanders, man. It just
Yeah,
that's my boy Taylor Heineke. Both teams, they're like the same for me. You could flip a
they
coin and the
are.
Giants win. I'm not really mad at it. Like I saw it coming.
Yeah. They just said they activated Carson Wentz off the IR, but he's still
Oh
the
yeah,
backup. Yeah.
that's what. Yeah,
Yeah. They still rocking with Heineke. I mean, as they should. He's earned it. He's deserved it. But yeah, give me the Commanders, man. I just think coming off of a brutal loss like that at home for the Giants, like you said, they've been kind of banged up. That O line kind of had a really bad day against that Eagles front, and that strongest point of that Commanders team is their D line as well. Two strong tackles up the middle. Montez, super athlete on the edge, and I believe Chase Young is back too. So they get that D line going. Honestly, could give Daniel Jones another really tough game. I just think the Commanders are a better team right now. They're playing better football, and second matchup in 2 weeks, I believe. Giants coming off of this is their third straight divisional game. They played the Eagles last week and Commanders twice in 3 weeks. So tough, tough stretch for the Giants right here. But kind of think we've all seen this one coming. I just think the Commanders, they're playing free. They really got nothing to lose, so to speak. I just think they come out firing all cylinders. Your favorite quarterback in the league, Taylor Heineke, does enough, gets it done, and Commanders win. And it'll be a good game though. I think this is a good Sunday night game though. Divisional matchup, a lot on the line here. I almost feel like the Giants kind of have to win to keep their playoff hopes alive,
Facts.
or for either team really.
So I was looking at it. Technically, it's not the last three, but considering the Commanders tied last game they played against the Giants, had to bye last week. You said before
No,
that
the
they won three.
Giants. The Giants.
Yeah,
I
the
said the
Commanders had a
Giants had three. The Giants had three divisional games.
no. Yeah, I was talking about the bye. The Commanders, they've won three games previously before that tie against the Giants. They're on a 3-game win streak. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, they're on a 3-game win streak.
I
That's
didn't.
what I was.
What are you referring to? I didn't say anything. Like,
I was just talking about the Commanders bye. That's what I was referring to.
oh, I thought you were saying like I said something like about
No,
the
yeah,
Commanders.
I was talking about you mentioned the Commanders had a bye last week. The week
Oh
before
yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah,
they tied with the Giants, but
yeah.
before that tie with the Giants, they won 3 in a row, one against the Eagles, one against the Texans, and one against the Falcons. So, I mean, they've went 4 games in a row without losing. They've won 3 of them. Kind of got the upper hand. So let's
Yeah.
see if they make it 4 not losses in a row. Or 5 not losses in a row. Monday Night Football, somehow Rams on national television again. Baker Mayfield, what's going
And it's
on?
somewhat interesting. If you'd have told me 3 weeks ago the Rams are in prime time, I would have told them to be the worst viewing of the season.
But I mean, it's like they're playing the Pack, who kind of they have a quarterback, but Rodgers obviously not playing up. Teams up and down that year in Green Bay. Which
Yeah,
team are you gonna get? Both of them fighting. I mean, not both of them. The Packers fighting for life to just even kind of stay in the mix.
yeah,
But we saw Baker, 98 yards, final drive of the game. Don't ask me. Made some throws. McVay did a hell of a job catering the offense to Baker Mayfield, giving him those
yeah.
play actions.
That's what
Before Baker,
you've been pounding the table for all the whole time when he was in Cleveland. That
the
play
play
action,
action,
Baker on
bro,
play action, yeah.
it's what he succeeded on, man. He was the highest, I think, completion percentage coming out of play action. Sold the
Mhm.
run, and McVay did a good job. Cam Akers, he kind of got something going last week. I think he had 1 or was it 2 touchdowns?
I'm not sure.
I know he got in the end zone last week. I think he had like 70 yards on the ground. So McVay knows what he's doing when it comes to play calling, catering towards
Mhm.
Baker and a defense of the Packers that's banged up. No Rashawn Gary, uh, not really living up to the hype. You've seen, Jair playing up and down this year, but
Yeah.
I just can't pick against Rodgers playing against the hopeless Rams. I mean, they got Baker carrying them, and he really has no one to throw to. You look at it,
Mhm.
so it'd be tough. But I mean, there's a shot the Rams win, considering they won that game Thursday night, and
Yeah.
they were like celebrating after that punt, and then gave up that touchdown down the stretch. It's hilarious. Good for Baker though, man. Shout out to him. I got no hate for the man. Just I don't see him winning another week here Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and kind of like you mentioned, man. Although the Packers defense has been banged up, few key injuries there on the D line, like you mentioned. I do think they're a step above that Raiders defense, and I don't think they're gonna let Baker Mayfield go 98 yards on them and score. So, with that being said, give me the Packers, man. At home, like you kind of mentioned, I believe they're coming off a bye as well. Another week for that team to get rested. Hopefully, Rodgers and those young receivers continue to get on that same page. Christian Watson, he's been, skyrocketing. I believe he scored like some crazy, like what, like 7 touchdowns in the last 6 games or some crazy number like that. He's been a touchdown machine as of late. Really interesting to see that play calling and how they get him involved now. It's like now Rodgers has that player. He knows where if he needs to play, who he's looking for. Christian Watson's been making him down the stretch. So Jalen Ramsey, I mean, he'll be out there, but outside of that, Aaron Donald, I know he's been banged up. I don't know if he's back. Cooper Kupp is out. It's just a lot of a lot of question marks on this Ram team. Even Baker, he had a game-winning drive, but still a question mark. Really haven't seen him play any good football outside of that last game and that last drive this year, arguably the last couple years. So I think it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting primetime game. I don't know if it'll be the best or how it'll go out, but I think, the main buzz around it will kind of be, how does Baker play? Is Baker going to be the real deal over there in LA? Like you mentioned, Sean McVay, quarterback friendly coach and coordinator, had Jared Goff playing, Super Bowl level, took him to the Super Bowl, kind of revived Matthew Stafford's career, and now we're seeing him kind of, mold Baker into what looked like on that last game a good quarterback. So it'll be interesting, but at the end of the day, man, give me Rodgers over Baker Mayfield. I'll take the pack.
Yeah, I agree with you. When it comes to Christian Watson and the Packers, just clicking, I kind of want to
Yeah.
see them get that game going again because they've kind of started using Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon a little bit more, which has worked in their favor too. So
Jones picked up, and I believe Romeo Dobbs is banged up, but he's coming back too.
oh, is he coming back? Yeah, he's been out for a few weeks. So I mean,
Yeah,
they
he
get
might.
another weapon back that Rodgers might semi-trust. So yeah,
He was a
and
big name in the preseason and early on.
you mentioned, I think, maybe not the best game, but there's definitely storylines to be written after this game.
Yeah, they're saying Dobbs is expected to play.
Yeah, that's big for the Pack. We'll see when it comes down to it between those two teams, but that's gonna wrap up our Week 15 picks.
Sir. Full slate, no more bye weeks.
Yeah, full slate. We're done with the buys, Saturday
Yeah,
games,
playoff
until
push,
that
man.
college football New Year comes up, man. Saturdays are for the NFL once again. I mean, we don't really talk about college football. You got any? Who's your pick for the title?
Um, right now, I think Georgia's the clear-cut favorite. They got that defense is playing really well. I believe some crazy number. They've only lost, I think, one game in the last 32 games they played or something like that, and that was the SEC championship, the Bama last week, something like that. But I think Georgia right now is a clear-cut better team. But don't sleep on Ohio State, man. The one place Georgia has been vulnerable this year is that secondary. And what does Ohio State do best? CJ Stroud distributing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Although I don't think he's playing, actually. I don't think he's playing. I think he's sitting out. But that air raid, Ohio State, what they do best is throw the ball, man. So I don't think it'll be good. Michigan up there too. A lot of good teams. I think it'll be Michigan, Georgia, and then ultimately Georgia wins it.
Yeah, same here. Marvin
Yeah.
Harrison Jr.
TCU is a good story. Yeah.
Cooks. So
He
that man
does.
should be in the league.
Looking like his
He's
OG out there, man.
he's looking better than him, bro. And they keep it. I mean,
All
Marvin
right, bro.
Harrison,
Now you
obviously
might have
one of the GOAT,
Hall of
bro.
Famer.
One of the GOATs, but I think
Actually, is he in the Hall of Fame? I think he is.
he should be. If he's not, that's insane. But Junior's a baller. TCU, they could pull off a win against anybody. That'd be good. Michigan, without their star running back, comes down to it. I mean, they're nitty gritty team. I think they probably match up the best against
Yeah, he
Georgia,
is in the
though.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he
Who?
had to. I think Michigan low key lines up best against Georgia
It'll be
because
tough, but yeah. No, I don't think Corum's playing either. They're running back. It'll be
nah,
hard.
he's out.
Yeah.
So it comes down to it, man. I do think Georgia's the best team, and I think they won last year. They're gonna repeat this year, so
Yeah.
I got Georgia for that.
It'll be
But
good. Shout out Max Duggan too, TCU quarterback. Did you see that game against Kansas State?
yeah,
Big 12 championship. Yeah, he went crazy. They were
yeah.
so close.
Question. Yeah, I was about to say, K-State could have pulled it off, but
Yeah.
um,
Or they
Caleb
did.
Williams, Heisman.
Bro, I
Oh yeah,
wanted
K-State did
USC to
pull it
be
off.
I wanted USC to be in the playoffs, man. I was
Yeah,
really hoping
fam.
PF
After
gets some
watching them play
playoffs. It
Utah
would
and
have
all
been
those
lit,
missed
bro.
tackles,
Defense
yeah,
could only do so much, bro. No, Caleb Williams is a dog, bro. Whoever gets him next year in the draft or whatever,
he just needs to
it'll
stop
be
painting his
interesting.
nails, bro. Because when he does, they lose.
They beat Notre Dame when he had his nails painted.
Oh yeah, but
He paints his nails all the time.
Yeah, not against Utah.
Well, he did. They just lost. Man, you hating on it, man.
I was just saying, bro, it's a bold move to come out and your defense gives up 22 missed tackles, but obviously out of his control. I mean, yeah, you got any final comments before we sign off on this Zoom Goal2Go episode?
I mean, we pretty much covered everything, man. Ready for some football this weekend. Happy back
Facts.
games back on Saturday. It'll be fun.
Yep. Games on Saturday, man. You already know what to do.
Fantasy
Goal2Go.
playoffs.
Fantasy playout, bro. I gotta lock in, man. I got $800
Me
pot for
too.
first place, bro.
Although I got to buy in one of my leagues, man. 13-0, man. Fuck with me.
Fam, if you got
Didn't lose
buys in
all year.
fantasy football, bro,
I didn't lose all year, bro.
fam,
13
that
and
had
0.
that had to be that Sunday football league.
It was.
See, bro, it just says a lot who you're playing against, but nonetheless, man, Goal2Go
Oh man.
pod on TikTok, man. You already know. Go drop a follow, drop a comment, man. Share. Hopefully, this episode gonna be on Apple Music, Spotify. Gonna leave that up to technician me to figure out. Um, Goal2Go on YouTube, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Y'all go ahead and let
Sir.
us know your thoughts too, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next week.
Appreciate it.